A couple weeks ago, I did a column, came out on Sunday. I do a Sunday newsletter. It's called the Miami Condo Market Intelligence Report. Been putting it out since roughly 2007, 2008. So the piece I did 2 weeks ago was talking about how our Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta report came out and called a condo crisis in South Florida. And the report was based on what was going on in Miami. But basically the Atlanta Fed, they came out with a report calling a condo crisis in South Florida. And a prominent local real estate broker, somebody involved with all kinds of civic and industry organizations, came out and said that equilibrium in South Florida for the condo market is actually 9 months. It's always been 6 months. I documented it in my piece. 6 months is equilibrium. 6 months is a healthy market. When you look at the months of supply, it gives you kind of a peace of mind. It gives you a sense of where the market is, what the equilibrium is between the buyers and sellers. And that's always been 6 months. Now there was this comment in the Federal Reserve report that came out talking about a condo crisis in South Florida, in which this local broker said it's actually, wow, it's 9 months. That's a 50% increase effectively in what's a healthy market and what's not. And why is that important? Jenny, let me tell you why it's important. I don't want to gloss over these statistics because they're really critical. Right now in Miami-Dade County, almost 16 months of condos are on the resale market today as we sit here on the 4th of August, the first Monday in August. So if you say 6 months of supply is equilibrium, when it's less than 6 months, sellers got the advantage because they're like, you want it, there's nothing out there you can pay top dollar. But when it's more, buyer gets to get sellers to compete against each other. So right now, if it's 16 months of supply in Miami-Dade County and it's 6 months equilibrium, that seems more dramatic than if you suddenly say, oh, wait, it's 9 months. Oh, 16 months from 9, it's not necessarily as bad. It's only 90 days, but it's effectively recalibrating the entire way we look at the marketplace. So I want to point that out. I keep getting in my soapbox, I keep hitting that. It's not necessarily a criticism of what's going on in the industry, but I think the Miami Association of Realtors should step forward. They should define exactly what each of these indicators are. Let everybody know, because in some of their press releases recently, they are now adding the fact that equilibrium is 6 to 9 months, which never occurred before. And if it did, I would stand corrected if they were to somehow show me some sort of proof. But I'm calling out the Miami Association of Realtors. Come out, tell us exactly what equilibrium is, put it down in writing, and then stick to it, because this whole wiggle room about 6 to 9 months, it's not necessarily a good thing. Why? Because perception. It's a way to effectively, not mislead, but wink, wink, sort of make the situation seem rosier than it is when you're looking at 16 months of condo supply and 13 months throughout South Florida. Why? Nothing's trading. How are you going to bring people in the market, Jenny, if people have questions about the information? I mean, you just discussed what the firing of the Bureau of Labor Statistics person means. What about if suddenly we start changing numbers down here in South Florida? What about if they change them in the real estate market overall? What do you look back to? What's right? What's wrong? How do you gauge the marketplace?